welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
You're listening to the 13th most popular podcast, as listened to by this rabble. You just can't get the staff.
Everything. Ian, my friend, welcome to I want to say a very busy Swift Half. It's been very, very busy for me for the last 20 minutes, but it's a very quiet Swift Half because we haven't got a lot of news. So can we just wrap it up and go?
I think so, because to be fair, the listener did get a good hour and a half last week. They got, I believe, an hour and 10, maybe 20 the week before. So if you just go back and listen to them, listener, just imagine that we're saying something funny and it would be the best Swift Half ever.
And thanks a lot. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
How good if we could just do that and go back and listen to them now. Doesn't work.
There's one problem, Alan. Because it's a podcast and it's not live, although we could do it live, but because it's a podcast and not live, they'll just see how long it is in their player. They will know that it's not a 2-minute episode.
Yeah, true. I suppose we best crack on then, aren't we? And do as what we normally do and talk about whatever that's popped up this week on our feeds and our news feeds. But first of all, what are thou drinking?
I am drinking root beer tonight.
Ooh. Is this from some special deal in Tesco's or Morrison's or whatever supermarket's got on the meal deal?
I think it was Sainsbury's. I'm fairly sure it was Sainsbury's. We went to Blackpool over the weekend. We were waiting for a train, popped into Sainsbury's, and they had some root beer, so I bought some.
Oh, nice. I've seen one the other week in one of the shops. It wasn't root beer. It was ginger beer. Some old Jamaican ginger beer.
That is popular. I've never been into ginger beer. It's weird. I can eat gingerbread, man. I can just about tolerate, ginger when it's in a Chinese meal. Never drank ginger beer.
No, I can't remember. Was it American Dry? Was that a ginger they used to do in pubs years ago?
I think it was called Drink Canada Dry. Yeah, so many people started.
Straight up at top. Where shall we go, Ian? Where shall we start? Let's go. We'll go from top. The breaking news this week. Let's talk about OCR in the Olympics or not in the Olympics, as some people say.
How about we talk about your loss of memory and whether I need a new co-host?
Why do you need because of my race last week?
No, because you asked me what I was drinking.
Oh,
what are you drinking?
Ian, I am stressed. You know that because I couldn't find my headset earlier. Tonight, I am on. I did say last week that Athletic Brewing let me down by giving me one can. I'm actually going to drink it tonight. So, Athletic Brewing, Run Wild. It's an IPA. I like the IPAs. You know that, Ian? Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not great either.
Yeah, I don't like that version. I much prefer Upside Down.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not great either. It tastes milky.
Yeah, it does. And it's strange in that Athletic Brewing in the States have so many good and varied flavours. Our good friend Sophia got us some, if you remember, when I was over for WTM. And they're fantastic. Whereas over here, they seem to have, we have that one, and they have Upside Down, which is more of a golden beer, Alan. But again, it doesn't taste too dissimilar. I prefer Upside Down.
Yeah.
What we really could do with Athletic Brewing, just bringing out more of their variety packs over here. Like they do a good hazy. They do a excellent stout. I think we've got a stout over here, but the one that Sophia got us was so much better than the one we have over here. It's almost like they just aren't sure whether to expand or not.
Yeah, a half-hearted expansion. I suppose they've got to find suppliers over here, haven't they? That's going to be the big key. It's like, do they ship it over? or do they find a brewer over here to brew it for them? Because that's what a lot of, like Budweiser, we all associate that with America, but it's not really brewed in America. It's actually brewed in the UK under license of Budweiser.
Yeah, probably by Aldi, they brew everything.
Probably by all yeah. If they don't brew it, they actually just make it themselves and put another label on it.
There is nothing wrong with my beer visor.
And talking about beer and that this thing, have you seen that Brewdog have brought out a new one this week that's coffee flavoured called Grind?
I haven't. They've done a few coffees in the past, but called Grind, you better be really careful where you say that.
Yeah, I didn't want to put the air on the end, but no, Grind it's called. Yeah, I haven't tasted it. It looks quite strong or anything else. I just saw it pop up on my feed at some point on social media this week.
And we probably should explain to our listeners, particularly those in relationships, that a grinder is perfect if you need to find a barista. All the coffee makers are on there, so just go up. And also, Alan, if you ever need someone to go fishing with you, there's this site called Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
The intern's taken up fishing, and she's finding a new fishing companion every single week.
Every single week on Plenty of Fish. Well, I've got visions now of some of our listeners like clicking on Plenty of Fish who go fishing.
Just to confirm, listeners, the intern isn't doing that, but I saw it and I thought I'd repackage the joke because it was quite a good joke.
Yes, yeah, it was a very good joke, that, and I actually quite like that. I quite like that. But let's move on because this is no joke. Yeah, OCR is in the Olympics. You know, it's the breaking news that came out this week. We were all gagging for it to. Well, we were waiting and waiting and waiting. Although we knew it was going to happen, they tend to string it out quite a long time. It's now been announced that we're going to get a 65-meter obstacle course as part of the pentathlon. Okay, let's get this right. Part of the pentathlon. It's not actually an OCR as we know it. There are a lot of positives on social media and a lot of negatives on social media for him. Shall I ask which you sit in first?
You know what? I'm almost over it, if that makes sense. It's kind of, I'm kind of neutral because ultimately pentathlon is its own sport.
Yes.
It could have picked anything. I wish it would pick something like rollerblading, plate spinning, because that would be hilarious. But instead, they went with obstacle. It's its own sport. My concern is whether or not OCR will be absorbed by pentathlon. That's my only concern. Yeah, and we wait and see. I was very happy with what James said last week. So, you know, if anyone hasn't listened, go back in and listen. But that's my only concern. Do I think that a 65-meter obstacle course in pentathlon is going to impact the number of people who listen to the show? Unless we're already pentathletes who are listening. No, probably not.
No, I don't think it will either. I was speaking to Tommy Matthews, who's the podcast that's going to come out on Monday, by the way. So I'll get that in now. Quick plug there for Tommy. And we was talking afterwards, and I mentioned to him about military pentathlon. That military pentathlon already has a obstacle course race in it, and it is a proper obstacle course race. It is, I want to say, about 300 to 400 meters long. It's mainly in Europe, and they are purpose-built obstacles. They're very standardized, and it's purely the military side of it. Have always done it for years and years and years. I would have liked to have seen that come into it. Then we could have had military personnel moving into it very easily.
That would have been good. And don't get me wrong, is it going to be nice to watch pentathlon and watching them doing probably a ninja style course? I think the course is already pretty been laid out. Yes, it's going to be great. Can we take advantage of it as a sport? Yes, we probably can. But I don't really anticipate someone who doesn't know about obstacle racing watching pentathlon and going, oh, I wonder if I can do that.
Yeah. I think watching it at the Olympics, is it the 28 Los Angeles Olympics it's going to be in?
It will be the 2028. I'll come and watch it with you in the care home, okay?
That's it. Yeah, probably will be by then. Is it going to be? Do you think one of them sports where people watch it because they want people to fail?
Potentially. What I do love about it is the fact that it's, I believe, head-to-head competition. And I like head-to-head competition when it comes to things like the Olympics because it looks good.
Yeah, I prefer it, Ted. It's amazing to watch, and I mean, I never realised how. And you've got to listen to the podcast on Monday with Tommy, how much detail, how much difference there is in where you grab a ring. So if you're going to grab a ring, depending on where you grab it, will depend on where your momentum is, and whether you leap to the third bar and do it one-handed, a one-handed lache compared to a two-handed lache. There's so much technique and it's minute changes in. It could be like 1 inch, grabbing a wheel 1 inch out of place can knock you back a second. And we're talking about a 28-second race. It's over.
That could be really interesting. No, you mention it like that. If they can get a fantastic play-by-play person to do it, that could really sell the sport.
Yeah, if you've got someone who's really good at it, so Tommy would actually be quite good at it because he knows the insides and outs. He's studied it from his climbing background. I'm trying to give too much away for the podcast on Monday, but from his climbing background, he studies how things work. From the bouldering thing, I don't know if you know, but they'll look at it and they'll plan out a route. That's exactly the same what he does on the race. Someone like him, who's got that inside knowledge, commentating on that and selling it, would be absolutely brilliant.
It would be. And again, maybe I was a little bit too harsh. Maybe it might help, particularly if it leads to people like James, people like Becky, people who are in charge of the sport in this country. It gives them a bigger platform. That's perhaps where we'll gain the most out of this whole pentathlon thing, in that obstacle racers may get interviewed by the BBC and they can plug obstacle racing.
Well, BBC obviously listen to this podcast because everyone else does. So there you go, BBC. Get in contact. We'll put you in touch with everyone.
Exactly. I don't think that people watching it are going to suddenly do it. I do think it may or may not open up peripheral opportunities. And it's now our responsibility to take advantage of them.
Exactly. There is an advantage being taken already on it, though, because the partnership between British Obstacle Sports and Pentathlon GB means that Pentathlon GB are providing 3 obstacle rigs to the Junior Championships next week.
That is awesome. Well done, Pentathlon GB. You got me not being able to say it now.
I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great that straight away they've jumped in and said, right, let's work together. Let's see what we can do and provide. I think it's 3 trusses, so they're providing the trusses. And don't quote me on this because I don't know any inside knowledge, but I would have thought the way British Obstacle Sports have got a partnership now with Torres, that there's some type of thing there where Torres supply hand grips for the youngsters, and British Obstacle Sports, along with Pentathlon GP, build the rigs.
That is great news. And Alan, you've never actually said, what do you think about it? The listener kind of knows what I think about it. What's your view?
I am really on the fence here. I'm a very much a let's wait and see. I read all the negatives, and so I'll listen to Inside OCR. I watched Inside OCR on Facebook today. I read up their whole thing about it, and they make some valid points. OCR is not in the Olympics. A form of obstacle course racing is part of a sport in the Olympics. Absolutely fine. That's right. That's true what they're saying. Then they also go on and they give another sentence about, will it open up doors? And they put exactly the same as I think, let's wait and see. I think it might do, but it's a case of let's wait and see, because we know that Ian Adamson is on this World Pentathlon Federation, you think thingamajig, whatever it is, and he's got an agenda. He's also heavily in the pocket of, rephrase that. He's heavily associated with Joe DeSena. Jody Senna's not going to want to put a 65-metre course on it. He wants OCR in the Olympics. So I think there's an agenda there that Joe's pushing Ian to be pushing pentathlon, to be pushing 3K, because that's what Joe's wanting. I see Joe wanting 3K. I see Spartan wanting 3K races. I think it's a great idea. I think it's spectator-wise, 3K is the way to go. And I don't need to necessarily 3K. If you've got the right course at 400 or 500 meters, it's still the right way to go. I love watching, and I said, a military pentathlon obstacle course race, and I love that, watching that on YouTube. It's fast, it's furious, it's exciting because it's head to head. There's running involved, there's obstacles involved. It's good. I am going to sit on the fence. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to sit on the fence for a little bit longer and make my decision as we see it go forward. I think in Britain, we are going to move forward. I think we've got the right people in place. And I said this all along, James and the British Obstacle Sports team are the right people in charge for our national governing body to go forward. I see a partnership. You've got British Pentathlon who are very, very good at what they do in pentathlon in Great Britain. They bring the youngsters through. They've got a great progression track for youngsters. And if we can get that progression track into OCR for youngsters, that to me that's going to be quids in for us all.
No, and that's really, really good point. And I think I probably sit where you are. What I want to know, though, Alan, is now we've finally put this whole thing to rest. It's going to the Olympics. Fantastic. Can we concentrate some of our efforts now on the rest of the sport?
Yeah. Well, we've got lots of news to talk about.
We do. And you mentioned Spartan.
I mentioned Spartan. Changing divisions again.
Yeah, I guess. Do you want me to explain?
So let's get this right then for our listeners. We're now in October, yeah? So is it the 10th change this year?
It might be. I'm not sure. But this change only comes into impact next year. So at least there's 3 months' notice.
Colin, you tell our listeners about the changes, because it confused me when I looked at it.
Okay. In effect, Spartan are merging the elite and the age group races. What they're doing instead is they're going to have one big race for all competitive athletes, and 1 through to 3rd place will be technically the elite podium for that particular event. They're probably going to call it like a competitive podium or a pro podium or a Jody Senna's secret sauce podium. I've no idea, but they will effectively be the winners overall.
Right.
Behind that, from 4th place onwards, you then start awarding age group podiums. So 4th place, whatever age they are, they will have won that age group. 5th place, if they're the same age as 4th place, they're second in that age group. If they are a different age group to 4th place, they're first in their age group. And so on down the competition until you've run out of age group placings.
Didn't we say something like this months ago that should be in effect?
I believe we've mentioned this previously, and it is how Savage Race in America works. It's also, I believe, how lots of other just general running events work.
Yeah, it's the same as running. Any running event runs like this, or most running events.
Evidently, there are some small things that we need to take care of. So, for example, the fact that at the moment, elite, you talk about 10 racers, which is fine, but then age group tends to be full waves. So setting off a wave of, 200, 300 athletes wouldn't be a great idea. So what they will do, Alan, is they're going to do some kind of seeding. So you're going to have what they're calling the pro division, which are people who have previously placed 1 through 3 at an event. They get a pro card because, of course, Spartan can't have any new ideas. And I believe they've gone to world bodybuilding for that particular one. But anyway, You finish 1 through 3, you get a pro card, and you can start in the pro wave. All that kind of gets you is an earlier start. Behind then you have, I think, races. I can't remember what we called it. Maybe phases or something. Phase 1 through to 5. Let's just pick this up because our good friend Graham said
Pace group. Pace group.
Pace group. There we go. Pace group 1 through 5. So that's effectively seeded people behind them.
Yeah.
The idea being that the fastest people will be in pace group 1 and the slowest in pace group 5, irrespective of age group, which in a way, Alan, could work out quite well because at the moment, if you are I'll probably get this wrong because I can't remember which order to set people off, but say you are a 50 to 54-year-old and you're actually got the body of a 20-year-old like you, Alan. So you're fast, you're virile, you can run fast and all that stuff. Said fast twice there, listener, forgive me. You could get caught up behind some of the slower 40 to 44-year-old people, or the 18 to 22 people like me. You could just get stuck behind those people. Whereas in theory, in this, people should not get stuck as much. There are going to be issues with it, like it's very hard to accurately rank everyone.
Yeah.
And some races may favor other people more than others. So the pace group for a sprint may be completely different than pace group for a beast.
Okay. So Spartan normally at the end of the year crowns someone age group champion for that year. Let's just say I'll pick an athlete. I'll pick Liam Mitchell, who's won his age group this year. Okay. Just because I know Liam's won his age group. He goes to Spartan next year. He gets 2 podiums, and then in his next 2 races, he comes 4th. So he wins his age group in the other 2 races. How will that work when it comes to age group end of year standings? Because he hasn't got 2. He's only got 2 first, when really he could have had 4 first.
At this moment in time, because it was only released today, and thus far all we've kind of got is a little bit of wording from Spartan. It's not completely sure. Let me just go down and see if it says anything. So, I really hate the Spartan website. There are so many pop-ups.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either.
Aru, can you help? Can we help you? No, just go away.
Please sign up here.
Yeah, please sign up here. Lock in the lowest price. No, all I want to know is information. But yeah, Alan, based on a 30-second review, it's not overall clear. What I'd hope is that they'd be smart and say if someone finished 3rd place, that they still figure out a way to award them age group points. But we'll see what we do.
Yeah. And there's a little bit to work on there, just a little bit.
Saying all of that, the reaction thus far has been a bit muted in that, like you and Pentathlon, there is a lot of people on the fence. And there's also, actually, Alan, a lot of people who think this is the worst thing ever and people who think it's the best thing ever.
I like how they're moving it down. I just don't know how they're going to adapt it into overall season rankings. That's what I don't get, because you can't have. You've got to give like we do in the UKOCR series. You've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and give points based on that. But then, if you went to a race, let's just say you were running in 60+ age group, and you came really high up because there wasn't many people turned up to one particular race, you could in theory jump other people who've done better in the season. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. It's weird.
No, I've no idea, Alan. And maybe they'll figure it out and announce it, or maybe we'll find out at the end of next year, which is probably likely.
You know, I said earlier on. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, in terms of the people who like it, a lot of people like this is great because effectively it prevents people from what's called sandbagging, which is staying in the age group for as long as possible and just doing it to win podiums.
And I think that is the biggest thing that they're doing. Was, I was talking to a few people down at the British Obstacle Sports, championships and that, and they were saying that it was great that athletes, for instance, I'm gonna say Finlay. Finlay ran in the elite wave. He qualified for the elite wave. He ran in the elite wave. If it had ran age group, it had podiumed. Again, he ran elite. I think he got 15th or 16th without off the top of my head. Kudos to him for actually saying, I'm going to run elite. I'm going to challenge myself against the best in the country. And because that's what we want. It's people like that with that attitude of, I want to run against the best in the country, that everyone needs to adopt. And because not everyone's adopting it, and some people are sandbagging, Spartan have got to fetch these type of things in.
And I completely agree. I'm now going to present the counter argument, which is for people who have been in open, you've then got this issue of them being intimidated, whereas previously you had this natural progression. Now you've got the thing, oh no, I don't want to run against James Burton or Federica.
But that's who they've got to run against, isn't it? If you want to run and you want to race against the best, you've got to compete against the best.
You do, and in some ways, though, it could occasionally be good, because we've seen in Savage that if certain people get the top 3 spots, say in your age group, the top 3 of your age group, suddenly you're an age group champion.
And you're normally fourth,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the other side of it, isn't it?
It is, and it also means that you do have to, race against me. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to think of this and not insult people. Should your goal be to be top of a semi-pro? If that makes, because I'm trying to think, in what other sport does this happen? This whole OCR thing of, oh, I want to compete and I want a podium, but I don't want the top podium. I just want this podium down here.
Is it like golf and bandit in your handicap?
Potentially, yeah. Because I'm just thinking, like in amateur football or any kind of football, your goal as a team is to get promoted.
Yeah, get promoted, win cups.
Yeah, and if in the FA Cup you go up against a powerhouse, you actually love the experience because it gives you a chance to test yourself.
Yeah. In football, though, in fairness, when I played football, I knew people who could have easily made it into higher teams, but they didn't want to. They wanted to be superstars in their teams. Does that make sense?
It does. And now you mention it, I'm thinking about American football, where they have a similar division shit, where you've got Division 2, Division 1, and Premier League. And often what would happen is people will move down to get to a national final.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we just have to accept that, unfortunately, in the UK, everyone wants a trophy?
Everyone wants, I think it's not UK, I think it's everyone in the world wants a trophy. Well, just like everyone wants a medal.
True. Speaking of trophies, Ninja Sports UK is having an awards event. There you go. You can go and get a trophy.
25th of November, 2023. Is it in Stoke? Have I seen in Stoke?
It's in Stoke at the Ninja Warrior UK Training Centre, or whatever they call Play Park, whatever they call the. They have currently opened it up for nominations for the awards. So head over to Ninja Sports UK and click to put any nominations down there. Alan, I think I cut you off earlier. Can you remember what you were about to say?
Yeah, we talked about all the changes in Spartan. I got a message this week from someone who we always talk about Spartan making changes, and a lot of people get the rub of the green, and not the rub of the green. What is it when you don't get the rub of the green? Anti-rub of the green.
Yeah, anti-rub of the green. That sounds like something you
should
apply to yourself.
A bum deal.
Yeah. There we go.
Deal. Well, Ross Jordan, who I spoke to down at the championships, he messaged me to tell me that he actually got the rub of the green with a recent change. So you know how the Spartan Beast was non-mandatory at Pippington for age group series. Well, it actually benefited to him because a lot of people ran the ultra. Yeah. So sorry, the Spartan Beast non-mandatory at Pippington for age group series actually benefited him. because he was racing the ultra, and he was first in the age group series because it wasn't mandatory.
That's good. And in a way, Ross, he did all right in the ultra as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he came second place in the age group series. So his sprint was a nice surprise when I finished. So I don't think what he got in the ultra. So this was the beast because the ultra came up and everyone wanted to run it. Everyone signed up for it, and he ran the beast and got second in age group. So I think it was second in age group in the series as well,
which is fantastic, and well done to Ross Jordan.
Yeah, so big shout out to him. Well done, Ross. And good that you listen to the podcast. It was one of them people that comes up to you and, you know, when you're talking to someone and goes, "Are you Alan?" And yeah, I listen to your podcast. And I'm like, all right.
All right, it's you who's downloading it.
It's you. You are the listener.
He's not from Belgium, is he?
No, it's not. No. Good segue there to listeners, because this week, I think we've made it, Ian. I think we have officially become number one, because our Patreon list, although all of our patrons are amazing and everything else, James Burton became part of our Patreons this week.
Wow.
I was like, no, James has become a Patreon!
Was that so he could get access to a Facebook group, and why I probably should delete a load of messages?
Probably. And we also got another one as well. Encarni Casales Arande also joined us as well. So I give a shout out to everyone.
Have you got the list?
Yeah, I've got the list on me.
Yeah, go on. Let's give a shout out to all of them.
Cool. Laura Haywood, Tim Crangle, Steve Measham, John Poole, Miles Lacey. Oh, and I've just done something, Ian, and it's just messed up my computer, but don't worry, I'll fix this. Get back to it now. Miles Lacey from the USA, Mike Nolan, Louise Ferryman, Kevin Dent, Wendy Brothers, Brian Keys, Ben Griffin, Daniel Weston, Charlotte Malone, Gordon Cameron, Richard Willis, Paul Ellis, Martin Gemmell, Matthew Kirk, Sophia Harnaday, Michelle Carney, and our longest serving member, Will Chung.
Thank you, each and every one of you. I was actually speaking to Encade, and I hope I said that name right as well, earlier on, because I needed to get her into the Facebook group. And apparently she listens to us on her long runs, which probably means she's been doing marathons the last couple of episodes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing it. James went for a 50k training run, yeah, and phoned me after it was 20k into it and just started talking to me as though it was like normal. It wasn't even out of breath, Ian. I was like, this is not right. This is just not right. I was feeling tired for him.
He was probably doing my pace.
He wasn't. He was actually doing quite well, because I did ask him, and he was doing quite a decent pace. But he did say he was going to leave me because he wanted to speed up a little bit.
He was going to leave you. I didn't even realize you were dating. Is this a conflict of interest?
Sorry, Ian. I haven't told you these things. This me and James on Plenty of Fish there. He's my fishing buddy.
He's a fishing buddy. Okay. Great. Oh, okay.
Talking about long runs, don't you know about my Lady Bower at weekend?
Oh, yeah. You actually had an event over the weekend. How did it go?
I got on the start line, Ian. I was raring to go. I was feeling really, really good. As always, we start at the back. So me and Rob, Jamie couldn't make it. He wasn't feeling. He got his head cold. Couldn't make it. So me and Rob went. We started at the very back. Last people to cross the start line, as always, and we were running really well. We started passing people. We went uphill very, very quickly. Went up Winhill very, very quickly. Within the first mile, we were climbing Winhill, and me and Rob were overtaking a lot of people because we were running the hill where they were walking it. And we get to the top of Winhill. Everything's looking good. Descent down into Lady Bower. First checkpoint, 8 miles in. Everything's fine. Everything's really, really good. About 2.5 miles. I got as we set off from that checkpoint, I started to get a hot spot on my left foot. So about 3 miles later, we stopped, put some, I found some cream called Gerwol cream, Gewhol. It's German. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. Put the cream on my feet, lather my feet back up to stop the blisters. Feet were fine, carried on running. Went through 15 mile in just under 3 hours. So I want to say just about 3 hours it was. We were averaging about 5 miles an hour, which was bang on pace what we want to be aiming for. And literally we hit that checkpoint, and within a mile of leaving that checkpoint, I hit a wall. And I mean, I just hit this wall. I don't mean I actually ran into a wall, but I'd heard people saying, they lose all the energy and everything just goes, and it went. I got no energy. My legs were feeling really, really good, but I just couldn't lift them. I was feeling really, really drained of all energy, and I'd nutritioned up. I'd done everything right. And I just, for the next, so it ended up being 33 miles in total. And for the next 18 miles, I was running and walking. I was trying to run as much as I could, but I want to say 50-50. I couldn't get over it. I couldn't break through that wall. I've heard people have said it's happened and then they've broke through it. I was putting food down my throat, trying to get over it. Savoury stuff didn't work. Sweet stuff didn't work. Took caffeine bullets, didn't work. Everything I took, I just couldn't get the energy levels back. I got them back for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes at a time, but then they'd disappear again. So really, really strange. And I was feeling really good. 7 hours, 40 minutes it took me to end. So it was like, I was aiming for 50K in 6 hours. I went through it in just under 7. So the last 3 miles took me 40 minutes. It was painful 3 miles.
Did you and Rob stick together, or did you cut him loose?
No, me and Rob stuck together all the way. Bless him. Thank you, big to Rob. He dragged me through a lot of it. When I was really, really down at one point, he was like, talking to me. He was making me laugh, playing 20 questions, singing songs, just trying to take my mind off it and just keep me going. It was tough. Got it there in the end. I just don't know what happened, and I can't put my thing on it. When I do my runs, because this was a training run ready for Escape from Meriden, so I wanted to try and do it in 6 hours because that was my aim. And I was thinking, what can I learn from it? I don't think I've learned anything from it, if I'm honest. And that's the worst thing I can do a training run and not learn anything from it. It feels really bad.
I think you have learned something.
What have I learned?
Well, you have learned that no matter how bad you feel and the fact that your legs won't move and you hit the wall, your mind can still get you through it.
That's a very good point, yeah, because Rob said this. He says, even though 15 miles I went, I still did 18 miles with no energy. And I did it in 4 hours, 40 minutes for 18 miles. And he said, that's not shabby. So, yeah, I'm taking a little bit away from it. I can keep moving. I just don't know what caused it. That's the thing that's annoying me at the moment. What caused it?
It could have been anything. It could be something you ate the night before. It could be maybe your legs were just a little bit heavy generally going in, and perhaps your adrenaline just conked out at 15 miles. Because when we start, adrenaline will catch you through. So maybe it's that. Yeah.
But it was good. The course, the people who do it, got to take my hat off to them, Ian. I have never ran a course that's so well marked. Literally, you could not go wrong. There were red flags every 20, 30 meters. When you came to a change in direction, there were arrows and flags. Literally, it was amazing. So well marked. The whole route, absolutely fantastic. I've got a couple of little gripes about it. Compared to some other ultras I've done, the aid stations weren't amazing. They were good. So you got Doritos, some chocolate brownies, bottled water. There's lots of bottled water as well. and some gels. Some of the other ones they have a lot more things that I've seen, savoury food and that. But I guess when you've got 650 runners, because that's 650 runners doing this, which is absolutely all 650 signed up for it. That's an amazing number for 50k ultra.
It is, and I think they do have previous events experience. I think they're really well regarded. Funny you mentioned about the markings. Do you remember we were talking either last week or week before about the Rochdale 10K?
Yes.
That was an out and back with a lollipop head. You've seen them, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And something really interesting happened on the lollipop head. In that I was going round it,
yeah,
having followed everyone. And then when I was almost to the end, the intern came running the other way.
Right.
And it was simply a case of there wasn't a marshal there, and there also wasn't a sign there. So when the intern had got there, because most people had left, or she was following someone else.
Yeah.
Eventually, when there's a lull, someone had got there and just decided to go the other way, and everyone started following. But it was weird because in the event there was loads of marshals, but most of them didn't appear to be doing naff all. They were guarding an empty road, a lot of them. And yet this one spot where they really, really needed a marshal to direct people, there wasn't one.
Oh, that's not good. That isn't good here.
I felt sorry for the intern because the way she did it was a little bit harder because it was a long progressive run up and then a short down, whereas I got to go a short up and then a long down.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good, but I guess it is what it is. And
the marshals give up their time, though, don't they? The marshals give up their time free of charge, and whatever happens, a marshal is only as good as the people that tell him what to do.
Not exactly. And if no one thought to put a marshal there, it's on the organisers. We already talked about they couldn't organise medals and were selling tickets the night before for a race that they didn't have medals. Oh, update, thus far we've heard nothing. So, we'll carry on. But they could have put an arrow. All it would have taken was an arrow.
Definitely.
So, Alan, we briefly talked there about you running with Rob. We've probably not got enough time to really delve into this topic, but it's interesting when you're running with someone and it's obvious that one of you is having a terrible race and the other is having a good race. What is the stage where you do cut them loose?
I said to Rob, you can go. I said to him, if you want to go, you're free to go. He didn't want to. He said, what was the point? There was no point in racing. He could have just run fast, got there earlier than me and then waited around for me. And I get that. I think the two guys I like running with, Jamie and Rob, we do tend to stay together a hell of a lot. Rob at minute is much faster than me and Jamie. He's head and shoulders above me and Jamie. So sometimes when there's all three of us and we're actually in a race, we'll let him go. We'll give him the car keys and say, you can get back to car faster, get yourself off. In short races, it's not so bad, 10Ks and things like that. But when you're talking about ultra distances, it is good to have somebody there. I've got to say, you've got to have someone there at the side of you, pushing you on. And especially in the big ones, the 50-mile pluses, the ones that are going to take 24 hours and that. If you've not got someone to help you through the night, that night is a very, very long night. I've done 2 ETMs through the night. I'm glad I ran with people there. I'm glad when I did my 50, I had someone with me through the night as well, because it's so hard. It is. If you've got no one there, you've got nothing, and that's probably the part that I'm actually dreading for Escape from Meriden. I've got the first 6 hours through the night on my own. I've got a plan for it though, Ian. I'm running roads only for the first 6 hours.
Good plan.
Roads only. No off-roads for the first 6 hours.
Good plan. Ubers only for first 6 hours. I hear you. Good idea. Great idea. Okay, let's just cover off a quick things. We meant to mention this last week, but we didn't get around to it because it was a 4-hour episode. Decker Strong will be over at Forders Gym at the same weekend as the 3K. So if you're going down to either do the 3K or you're going down to support people doing 3K, get yourself booked onto Decker.
Is that the 12th of November, is it?
It is indeed the 12th of November. Also, next year, speaking of all things hybrid and fitness racing, Nuclear Fit launched their second season. I want to say 24th of May, 2024. Have I made that up?
No, you are right.
I made that
May.
up.
No, you're right. 12th of May, yeah.
12th of May, 2024. Perfect. I think I said 24th of May, but 12th of May, 2024. Check out Nuclear Fit. And this coming weekend is High Rocks Birmingham for 5,000 athletes who have spent lots and lots of time training, and Will Chung, who found out he was doing High Rocks about a week ago.
Is Will doing High Rocks?
Will is doing a High Rocks. He took my ticket, which was nice of him.
So is this his first High Rocks then? Because he's filmed at High Rocks several times for us.
Yeah, his first High Rocks should have been a doubles with Kieran. So I guess this is a training run for a doubles.
Good luck, Will. You'll need it. Remember, practice them lunges. He's much younger than me, so I'm sure he'll be fine on lunges.
He's younger than me as well. Oh, maybe not. I'm not sure. He's more athletic than me. He's definitely more athletic than me. And you're right, it's for lunges. And on this past week's episode of Fitness Racing Podcast, I've been quizzing everyone about lunges for probably the past 52 weeks, to be fair, or however long it's been. And Tom said something that is good advice to me and you, Alan, is basically step forward with your leg like you're just taking a regular step. Don't overstride, just step forward and then just drop your back knee. And the aim is to get your back knee directly under your hip.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
And then just repeat probably about 200 times.
Yes, the repeating 3 times that gets me.
That's quite true. But yeah, good luck to Will, and we can't wait to see how he gets on. I should be there, so if you're going to be at High Rocks Birmingham, come and say hi. I'll be there at some point. Let's get rid of some of these other things. Not rid, let's really touch on the 2024 UKOCR series.
Yeah, so I've been getting lots of messages this week because last week some people picked up that we said that Tartan Warrior was going to be the first race in the series. Just to let everyone know, we are still in negotiations with virtually all the other races. There's some changes that we've wanted to put in this year. So all the other races are having to agree to them. We're waiting on them races. As soon as the races sign up, as soon as they agree to them, we'll let you know. Virtually everyone that was in it last year, with the exception of Total Warrior, has been invited back. But I can't tell you whether they're actually going to be in it or not this year.
That makes sense. And we should clarify that Total Warrior, it's personal issues on their part. In truth, the fact that they stayed in last year was a massive, massive favour on their part, because they went through some internal changes due to illness. So we wish them the best, and hopefully they may be back in the future because it's an excellent race. But next year it's just not for them, and we completely understand.
Yeah. So as soon as we know, guys, we will let you know. That is, I promise that literally the moment we know, we will let you know. But as you listen to this, tickets are on sale for Tartan Warrior. So if you want to get into the first race of the season, get some points under the belt, head up there to Gavin's venue and give it a try.
And we probably should also clarify that these changes are all for the runners' benefits. It's not me and Alan asking for a massive budget to live stream them. We've not asked for a helicopter, anything like that. There's just a few things we want to change to make it a better competition, because we want to continue to improve. We
want it to be the premier race series in the UK, if not Europe.
If not the world.
If not the world. Yes, that is the aim. And that is all we are changing. ourselves and British Optional Sports have put a few rules in, and they're nothing major, but everyone's just got to agree to them. So yeah, so that's where we are, guys. Don't want to dwell on it. As soon as we know, we will let you know. Ian, I've got to give a shout out. I got a message today, a really random message. Yeah, it said, "Can you give me a shout out?" Well, all right, Paul Ellis, there's your shout out. But actually, he wants more than a shout out, Ian. What he wants me to do is I've got to turn around and say, Matt Roberts, if you're listening, yeah, the whole of Mudcrow is awaiting your balcony shot. So can you get your balcony shot taken and popped onto Mudcrow? He's asked you to do it. Now he's asked me to ask you to do it. There we go, Ian.
I'm not even going to speculate what that is. So let's move on. It's a family show at the end of the day. Let's move on. And speaking of family, a member of your family wants a Christmas present.
They do. He saw it today and he wants it. He is gagging for it. Wilson, the bulldog, has seen that Dry Robe now do dog jackets.
Dry Robe do dog jackets.
In camouflage. He says he wants one. Christmas is coming. If anyone wants to buy him one, let me know. Because he's not getting one from me.
And I'll clarify, he's not getting one from a Patreon either.
No, he's not. I've told him he's a dog. You don't. But no, actually, Ian, they're brilliant. I've looked at them. I'm actually contemplating getting him one. They look really cool. Another reason I'm contemplating getting him one is because I took him for a walk the other day and we were out and it started raining while we were out. And it didn't just rain. It actually, his name is actually Kate. Come here now, Ian, to come in for a stroke. It started, we call it siling it down in Yorkshire. Is that what we call it over in Lancashire?
Don't believe so. That's the first time I've ever heard that phrase, but carry on.
All right. So it means it come down really heavy. And when we got back, he was absolutely drenched from head to toe. So I think I need to buy him a little dry robe to keep him dry.
Perfect. If anyone wants to randomly buy Wilson a dry robe, please get in contact.
Dry robe, contact me and send me one. That could be good marketing, couldn't it?
Yeah. What happened to Red Robe? Do they not do doggy robes?
No, they don't. No, I love my Red Robe, by the way. I've got to admit, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of Dry Robe as well. And they've brought new ones out. Now, have you seen the new ones that they're bringing out all the time? Red Robe's brought one out that's, I want to call it recycled. I don't know if it's recycled or not, but it's like different colours and things like that. Dry Robe have brought one out that is like £400. It's like the advanced Dry Robe. Looks amazing from bricks. It's completely black or completely white. But yeah,
£400 for a dry robe.
Yeah. Apparently, it's got two layers to it. So normally, your dry robe, you've got your outer layer and your inner layer, haven't you? This actually zips, so you can actually have just the outer layer or just the inner layer on, and vice versa.
Well, yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. Speaking of cold nights, Alan, you had some advice for everyone when it comes to running?
Yeah, if you run at night time, it's got dark now. It's going to get light again in a couple of weeks' time when the clocks go back, fall back. Yeah, spring forward, fall back when the clocks go back. Get your head torches now, guys. You're going to need them. If you're running at night time, you're going to need your head torches. I want to say almost ran into someone the day who were running without a head torch, and I didn't run into him, but he was running on a road without a head torch on a country lane. It was 7:00 at night. It was dusk. It was that really funny, and he had a black shirt on. High vis, anything that's high vis. If you go to, there's something called Planet X, which is a bike shop, and they do little bike lights for $1.99. Rechargeable bike lights for $1.99. Attach it to a keyring that's attached to you or something like that. It flashes. Anything that lets people know that you're there. Cars especially. I'd hate to see some accidents happening, and it does. So just a bit of a warning, guys and girls. I like to run at night. I always run at night time. I've got lots of head torches, always got them on charge, and I've got lights that I put on my rucksack and things like that. Guys, just do the same. Just make sure you're safe out there.
I'm going to say I'm one of the worst for doing this, but I'm going to start doing it after seeing a runner run across the road in front of me. People think that if they're just running out on the street, they'll be fine because there's street lights. But when you're going across the road, it's very easy when you're driving to lose someone as they're just crossing in front of you, isn't it?
Very much so. It is, when you're driving, you're going at 20, 30 mile an hour. As a runner, you're trying to judge that car. Oh, you got plenty of time, but that car might be speeding up. And if that car's speeding up, you might not have enough time, and the drivers can't always see you. And especially as it's starting to rain, they're getting the rain coming now as well. People in cars, not everyone, but I've seen people driving cars early in the morning with still foggy windscreens. They haven't let it demist.
Demist.
Yeah, they haven't let it demist. It's just people just need to be mindful. That's all. Although they might be conscious, not everyone else is.
Yeah, look after yourself because who else will?
Exactly.
Okay,
that's a good point.
Final thing before we wrap up: sprouts.
It's safe to buy sprouts, Ian. We've had frost the other morning. Yeah, so I put this on because I thought it was funny. It's an old tale that my dad used to say to me. I mean, I love sprouts all year round. I am a sprout fan. I like a good sprout. Don't like the really soft, mushy sprouts. I like them with a little bit al dente, just a little bit crunchy, but they've got to be cooked as well. But it's now safe to buy them. Buy them on the stems because the frost has been. We've had our first frost this year. So go out, buy your sprouts. I bought my first ones of the day, fully on the stem. They tasted delicious. Go out, buy your sprouts.
And yeah, I have no clue what you just talked about for the last 30 seconds. This makes no sense to me. My sprouts probably come from Morocco. I've no idea where they come from, but there's no frost over there.
No, you said to me, when I said this about you can buy your sprouts because the first frost has been, you said to me, you eat sprouts all year round. And why do you eat sprouts all year round?
Because they're delicious.
You said because you're frosty in January.
That's also true, yeah. But I've no idea. No, you said that you can only eat sprouts after the first frost of the year. And I said that, of course, there was frost in January, so I can eat them all year round. I have no clue what this is all about. Is it like in America where you can't wear white after Labor Day?
I don't know. Is that true? Can you not wear white after Labor Day?
Allegedly, it is true, but yeah, I believe the tale goes that white would tend to be summer clothes. So after Labor Day, which is the week after our bank holiday, you should have packed away your summer clothes because it was now autumn. So only poor people would still have their summer clothes and still be wearing it because it was all they owned. So the idea was you can't wear white after Labor Day. But as for whether or not it still exists, I've no idea. Sophia, let us know, or Miles, let us know. Either one of you, let us know whether or not you're wearing white and it's after Labor Day. And if you've any clue what Alan's going on about these sprouts and frost, let me know, because I'm still none the wiser. I don't know why frost has any impact on something that's being shipped across the globe.
But my sprouts are not shipped. I buy fresh from my local garden centre.
Are you sure they're sprouts?
Sprouts. I know what sprout looks like. These are sprouts. My sprouts I bought from where I live now. There's a garden centre about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away. So I get my vegetables from there. I mean, I'm one of these healthy people now, Ian. I'm going on healthy. I've started a new thing as well, a meal from a country every week to expand my taste buds. So I went to Aruba yesterday, and I had keshiyeni or
How long did the flight take?
I ordered it, and it came on a taxi. It was an Uber delivery.
Uber Eats, yeah, great.
Yeah, so could start in A, B next week.
So what did you have from Australia?
No, we didn't know, because I went to Aruba. I didn't do Australia. I just went Aruba.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do B next week, and you're going to get all the way to Z, and then just keep going.
And then go again, yeah. And then start back at A and go all the way through again.
Can't wait till you get to X. You're going to starve.
Well, no, actually, because Gaza, if you go onto the immigration calendar, and I know this for a fact, Gaza on the immigration calendar is known as XX. So we could have anything that's from Gaza.
I honestly don't know how to follow that up. I have no clue.
Which is quite, because it's in the news a lot at the moment. But no, that's fact. That, like we got GB, France is FR, Gaza is XX.
Okay, moving swiftly on, what are you having for B?
Think it might go Bolivia.
Bolivia's good. Yeah. I like how you avoided Brazil, which would have been easy.
Tacos. What's in Brazil? What's chicken, isn't it?
I think so. Some kind of Brazilian chicken or a footballer.
In Bolivia, it's either Bolivia or Burma because they both have lamb dishes. So, and I fancy lamb next week.
Or you could go Birmingham. Feels like a foreign country.
We can go Birmingham because it's a different foreign country. That's another 3 listeners we've lost, Ian.
Yes. We've now got more Patreons than listeners.
What we've got coming up next week? Have we got any race coming next week? Colonel Killer this weekend? Colonel Killer?
I believe Colonel Killer is this weekend. Is it Muddy Dog Challenge this weekend? That was last weekend.
Yeah.
That was last. So yeah, Colonel Killer is coming up. We're in a quiet period at the moment. Oh, we've also got, how can we forget this? We're going to get cancelled. It's the Junior British Obstacle Sports Championships.
Yes, I was going to say that one. I'm not going to get cancelled. It was on my list to say that's coming up. And we have got, I think we've got is it Nuclear Fallout coming up very shortly as well?
Yeah, is that the 5th of November? I can't quite remember. It's definitely coming up.
Early November, yeah. So still lots of events happening out there. Maybe not one a week, but at least you can get one a fortnight.
Which is great. And it's also why we wait till the end of the year before starting the awards.
Exactly. Should we start them soon? We best get on with it. Wendy's going to help us out. Wendy Brothers messages and said she will help us out.
Perfect. That is great news because we all know that left to our own devices, we need to be pulled out of the SH1T right at the end. I am kidding, of course. Alan did a fine job last year. He really did a great job, and we need to find a venue. People loved it last year. We need to find a venue. We're
in talks. We're going to discuss one, so all will be revealed.
Okay, and on that bombshell, I'm going to say it's a goodbye from me.
And listeners, thank you for listening. Don't forget to join that Patreon train. Keep us going. Keep us doing what we do best, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you to everyone who's doing. We'll speak to you soon. You take care. Love you all. Bye.
Battle is over when I say it is over. Spartans, prepare for glory. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. No retreat, no surrender. That is Spartan law. And by Spartan law, we will stand and fight and die. A new age, an age of freedom. And all will know that 300 Spartans gave their last breath to defend it.